Good evening, everybody. Welcome to It's All Black and White TV, and this is the Premier League predictions. Where in the chat you can get involved, um, and have your say on any scores. Sorry about the lateness of the show. I had to delay it a little bit because I had some low-flying aircraft around, and it would have been far too loud, and I wouldn't have heard myself talk. So I'm joined by Rolly. How are you, Rolly? Oh, it appears Rolly's frozen. So I'll have to bring Rolly out until he gets his connection sorted out. While he's doing that, if you do like what you see, then please do smash the like. It really does help the channel to search. So do smash the like. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, come and smash the subscribe. Come and be part of this great community we have here. And also the bell notification tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows. Also, if you want to become a member, it's 99p. Just click the join button to do that. If you want to make a donation, you can do that in the chat by clicking on the $sign. So let's get into some comments, and I think Rolly's back unfrozen now. Can you hear me now, Rolly? Are you unfrozen? Oh, I think he's having some problems. Some problems there. So we'll get him on as soon as we can. Bia says, evening, Tony and Uncle Rolly. Good evening, Bia. Hope you're well, mate. Holly says, hi, Tony and Rolly. Hi, Holly. Hope you're well. Ian says, evening, Tony and Rolly. Good evening, Ian. Hope you're well, my friend. Gary says, evening, Tony, Rolly, Ian and Bia. Whoever else joins, good evening to you. Sefton says, evening, matey Max. So proud of the squad and fans in Milano. Absolutely, Sefton. Absolutely, mate. Do you know what? Absolutely fantastic. The fans were brilliant. We've seen the bad side of Milan with that idiot, attacking one of our fans. But at the end of the day, look, our fans were well behaved. Even the police have said they were well behaved, and that's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, absolutely, Sefton. And at least you were relieved when Liverpool won, Sefton. Lee says, evening, Tony and Rolly and everyone. Hope you all have a tuned day. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Bias says, Pedro's man's. I would have thought he would have gone Granny Canaria. Hi, Tony and Rolly, says Matt. I think Rolly's back now. Everybody's saying hello to each other there. And Sefton saying hi to Ian. Rolly's having problems with his connection. He's had to reboot his phone and try and come back on. So that's fine by that. Are you okay there, Rolly? No, he's still having problems, so we'll wait for Rolly to get back. Yes, we got that draw against Milan on Tuesday, which was absolutely a fantastic result. You know, 0-0. We've had a couple of negative comments from Ravanelli and from Vidal. Look, at the end of the day, I don't care what anybody wants to say. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you get the result. To go to Milan, the San Siro, and come away with a 0-0 draw, a clean sheet in the Champions League, and a point, it's successful. Yes, we could have snatched it at the end when Longstaff's shot was just saved by the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper who had just come on as a sub as well. If he hadn't got near it, then yes, we might have snatched that and won that 1-0. But you know what it is? Oh, yes, for as much as Milan had shots, they had a lot more shots than what we had at goal and just cheated us on possession. But at the end of the day, we did really, really well, I thought. And, Pope made some great saves in that game. Kieran Trippier was magnificent. So all in all, the whole team played really, really well. And I just think, sorry about the jet noise there, guys. I can't do anything about that. That's beyond my control. But yeah, as I say, look, it was a really good match. And to get the point, I'm just happy we got a point, And we've got PSG next to St James's Park, who they won't find it easy coming to St James's Park. Not at all. None of these teams will find it easy. And like I say, Dortmund, they could be the weak team in the group, so who knows? But we won't take these teams for granted. But we look forward to PSG coming. And when Milan comes to St James's Park, it could be a totally different result. We could go and beat them. So who knows? Who knows? But we'll see. Right. Okay. So let's go to some comments and then I'll see if Rolly's back. Hi, Tony Knowles says coffee. Hi, coffee. Hope you're well. Sefton says sour grapes. Absolutely. They're just not because they've never won, Tony. Absolutely, Ian. Absolutely, mate. Gary says a site of yours regularly plays havoc with my connection. Maybe Rolly's too. I don't know why it's playing havoc with the connection. It might just be the weather because the weather's been crap, hasn't it, lately? I was going to do a show last night, but it had so much heavy rain in that year. It was just, I thought, and my connection did go down. So I thought, well, just as well I didn't. And I did do a show on Tuesday when I'd done the reaction show. And it was weird because just as I finished that show, my internet connection went off. The service went down. So, and I wasn't the only one. There was a lot of customers affected by it. So I was like, wow, thank God I got that show done and I came off at the right time. So somebody must have said to me, it's time to come off before the network goes down. Jack says, Tony, you're doing a live. Are you doing a live in an airport? I didn't know you went to Milan. No, I'm not in an airport. I live near an American air base, and I live in between two air bases. But it's just the noisy jets are taking off tonight, and I'm sure they probably know that I'm doing a show, so they probably thought I will just annoy the hell out of them. That's probably what they're thinking. Oh, Tony, are you broadcasting live from the runway? It sounds like it's Sefton, doesn't it? You know? Geez, if I was on the runway, Sefton would be a hell of a lot louder than that. I'll tell you that now. I mean, it's great to go and watch the jets. I go to RAF Lake and sometimes and go and sit in the viewing area and watch them take off, and it's amazing. Lee says, fantastic result in Milan. Not many teams get a draw there. We were outstanding. Credit to the team. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Tony, your English is good for living in Ukraine. Yes, yeah. Certainly not in there. Tony must be an air traffic controller. No, certainly not. Antagonizing says, couldn't care anyway. We were battered, but a point is a point away from St James's Park. The results is what we need where we are good. Do you know what it is? You're absolutely right, antagonizing. That is a great point for us. Coffee says, it must be so cool to see the planes flying by. Well, it is, but, you sometimes just get sick of them because you can't do stuff like, if you want to watch TV, sometimes you can't watch that, and it's just awful. But yeah, it's nice to see them flying about. Don't look up, says Sefton. No. Hi, what's up, says Diggs on Twitch. Hi, mate, hope you're well. Ian says, I was thinking that coffee, where you live, Tony, sounds bloody noisy. Well, I live in a little village just near RAF Mildenhall, so that's why the planes are there. Nick Pope was good air traffic controller on Tuesday, yes, wasn't he, just with his shot stopping. Hi, good evening all. Good evening to you as well. Hope you're well. Chris W. Villa lost away in Warsaw. Yes, they lost to Legia Warsaw 3-2. Julie J has just become a member. Thank you very much, Julie. Thank you indeed. Welcome to the Toon family. Good evening of all. Good evening to you as well, Julie. Paula Gallant, yeah, can't believe Villa lost the local West Midlands derby to Walsall. Well, I've been to Warsaw and I've been in the National Stadium at Warsaw. I'll have to put Rolly on mute because it's feedback. I've been in the National Stadium at Warsaw. I did the tour there, believe it or not, and for an hour and a half's tour, it actually only cost £3.47. That's all it was, £3.47 for a tour of their National Stadium. And I'll tell you what it is. That National Stadium is beautiful inside, absolutely. I mean, look, I know we've got Wembley as our National Stadium, but, for them, that is a beautiful stadium. And, I'll have to put some pictures on one day and let people have a look. I mean, look, it is absolutely fantastic. And one story is, which the guy told us, what happened was the away dressing room is now the home dressing room, if that makes sense. Because what happened was, um, when Poland played in a friendly when it first opened, they went straight in the away dressing room first without thinking. And so the away team had to use the home dressing room. And because Poland won a game from the away dressing room, and then they played more matches and won games at home, so they said, right, they swapped the dressing rooms around. So Poland had the away dressing room and the away teams get the home dressing room. But when you go in the two dressing rooms, there's not much difference at all. But it's, it's but I tell you what an experience it was. And it was absolutely fantastic to see that, to go around that stadium. The press room they've got where they do that press conferences, much bigger than what they've got in Newcastle, to be honest with you. But I tell you what, it's absolutely beautiful. It's an amazing stadium. So if you ever go to Warsaw, go and do the stadium tour. It's absolutely brilliant. I do recommend that. And I've done that 3 years ago. That was actually just before lockdown came in this country. So that's how long ago it was when I did it. And it was well worth the visit, that's for sure. Coffee says a whole mainstream media news covered Barcelona, Real Madrid, and Man U's performances in the Champions League. It's annoying. Do you know what it is, Coffee? It's absolutely annoying because, not a lot of people are crediting us with the draw. You know, and we've came to a team that, we've gone to a hostile atmosphere, and I thought we handled it really, really well. Man U, yes, they got beat. Absolutely fantastic. They got beat. And Nana again, let's make another howler. But the one thing I will say about Onana, yes, he made that howler, but at least he accepted it and said on TV, I'm very sorry I made that. I shouldn't have made that mistake. He shouldn't have made that mistake. Harry Kane scoring against Man United. Apparently, Munich fans absolutely love Harry Kane. He's their new hero. He scored 5 and 5 for Munich, so the guy's on fire. Jude Bellingham got a late winner for Real Madrid. What a player Madrid's got on their hands in Bellingham. And Antagonizing has become a new member as well. Thank you very much, Antagonizing. Thank you indeed, my friend. So, Rolly, how are you?
How are you anyway? I'm not too bad. Not too bad. Very content with the point at the San Siro. There's a lot of pluses to come out of that. It seems like the defence has got their mojo back. Nick Pope has got his confidence back. It was a battling performance. But though Milan had loads of chances, but they were all in sort of 5-minute packages. And outside of those packages, we were controlling the game in general without actually threatening. We had the control of the game. We're passing it well in general. The guys put in a shift. You could tell by the way the guys were when they were like Isak and Tonali when they were substituted. They were literally dead on their feet.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody played badly. There were a couple of standout performances. I thought Nick Pope was superb. I thought that Kieran Trippier, of the outfield players, was the best. I thought Sean Longstaff put in a good shift. I thought he was very good. And even when the subs came on, the guy I felt sorry for was Alexander Isak because he had no service and ended up having to go deep to try and get involved in the game, which in a way isn't bad because he didn't do that. He didn't do that in the previous games when he wasn't getting service. But you could see that he is getting tired because when they moved him out to the wing, he was misplacing his passes. I thought Dan Burn, I think a lot of credit goes to Dan Burn because he did start slowly, grew into the game, and never he just defended his heart out. It was a good performance. It was a workmanlike performance. I thought that they put in the hard yards, which is all that we can ask, and in an atmosphere where you're going to be, some of the guys are going to be really nervous. The first Champions League game in such a fantastic stadium, for the Milan fans really roaring their side on. Um, but everybody sort of grew to the occasion. I think that we fought for that draw and deserved it because of the way we defended and the way we fought. And it's just starting off with a point from an away game in a group that we've got. I think it's a terrific point. I really do. And if we could go to Paris and get a draw, and Dortmund to get a draw, it's all about the home games. It's all about the home games. And Milan have already dropped 2 points at home.
Absolutely, Roddy. Yeah, absolutely. Gary says, Tony, if we'd won, they would have said, "Oh, we were lucky. Ignore them." Oh, I ignore them. Don't you worry about that. I don't take no notice of them. They just don't want to see us do well, says Ian. Absolutely, Ian. That's the thing. They're jealous. I mean, for him to even say Vidal, like, "Oh, we finished 4th in the Premier League," so it does say the top 4 get to the Champions League. So I don't know what his problem is. Just sour grapes. Paul Gardner says we are still hard to beat without playing anywhere near our best. So I think once it clicks, we'll do well. Do you know what it is as well? I think this hard-fought draw in Milan could now kickstart our season, because that could be the catalyst. That could be the game that clicks now, and the players go out there and do the business. And this could be the one that defines our season. You know, sometimes when you see teams play a game and they come out with either a win or a hard fought draw, and then they go on and they go on a run, and it just boom, you know. You see it with smaller teams, like, you know, in the FA Cup, a team that might be struggling, say in the bottom 3 of League One, gets a win against a Championship or a Premier League team, and then through that next 10-15 games period, they go on this run and it gets them clear of the relegation zone, and then they're fighting for a playoff place. So, you know, things that can define your seasons, and that could be exactly like I say for us, you know. I mean, Coffee says the cameras also kept focusing on Zlatan. No visuals of the away fans in the Madrid-Berlin game. The cameras showed both sets of fans. I mean, the thing is, look, Coffee, they've got their favourites who they want to go on to, and I saw them kept going on Zlatan Ibrahimovic. But remember, Ibrahimovic is a big fan of Isak as well. So, you know, first game in Europe for Brighton yesterday's Julie, absolutely. Sefton says bitterness is the greatest gift of process, absolutely. What about the former smog monster at Ravenelli, utter bella in the years, Julie? Absolutely. I mean, look, that's the thing with people like Ravenelli. I mean, look, yes, he was a good enough striker, but he was more of a fox in the box type striker. Predator says we've upset the status quo, Coffee. They think we don't deserve our place in the Champions League. Let them flap. Absolutely, Predator. Well said. Newcastle club, apparently. Yeah, exactly. Let us see Brighton do well. I would as well. Yeah, exactly. Barcelona scored lots of goals, but they have an easy group. Berlin fought with Madrid and were unlucky in the goal they conceded. Man U lost, and they get so much coverage. That's the problem, Coffee, in it. Yeah. Thing is, though, might be Ten Hag's on his way out, you see. Julie says Man U got more coverage than Arsenal last night. Yeah, they did, even though Arsenal went into town on PSV and hammered them 4-0. Burnman's in front of him, can defend, but on the counter, passing and pace lets him down. It does, absolutely, mate. Right, so we're going to go into the predictions now. And so the first game, so there is no 12 o'clock game or 12:30 game on Saturday. So we're going to go straight into the first game, and it's a 3 o'clock kickoff. It's a London derby, South versus West. Yes, South London versus West London. It's down at that stadium that I don't really like. I think it's a poor stadium, in all honesty. Selhurst Park. You know, I saw views where fans were sitting there last season, and you've got the stand like that in front of you, and you can't see the pitch. It's absolutely ridiculous. So, right, okay, so I'll let Rolly kick this one off. Crystal Palace versus Fulham. Tell us your thoughts on this, Rolly, and what do you think the score will be?
Okay, just before I go to the game, I'd just like to circle back to your point about this draw could be the one that kickstarts our season. If people remember last season, we won the first game, and then it took us a while to get that next win. And then we had that superb October where we couldn't stop scoring. The only reason we stopped scoring is because the ref blew up for the end of the game. We had that terrific run. And I think especially with the last two results, that hard-fought win against Brentford and this point at Milan, I think it could be, as you say, it could be the start of a good run for us as the fixtures get comparatively easier. So that's going. Now, Crystal Palace, Fulham. I think you've got two decent Premier League sides. They're not special. They're not going to be fighting relegation. I think they're pretty evenly matched. Both have got some decent players. I like Esse at Palace. I think he's really good. I think this is going to be a draw, and I think it'll be 1-1.
1-1.
1-1.
Let's see what people's comments in. Yeah, we'll have to keep muting Rolly because there's a lot of feedback there and it's repeating. So, Chris says 2-1 to Palace. Palace 2-0 says Predator. Coffee says 2-1 Palace. 2-1 Palace for Lee. Ian says not even Man U would go in for him for Cabbage Heat. No. 0-0 says Beer. 1-1 says Sefton, London Derby. Ian says 1-1. Coffee says some Man U fans call Bruce a legend. Well, they can take that place there to replace Eric Ten Hag. Yeah, absolutely. Joe Litton says, honestly, how we're playing, I'm worried that we get beat off Sheffield United. Don't worry about that. We'll beat Sheffield United. Don't you worry. The echoes are funny, says Coffee. I go for a Palace win, says Gary. Look, I look at this game, and I think at home, Palace probably have the upper hand. I don't think Fulham have been too great so far this season. I mean, look, Eze is on fire. Edward's on fire as well. He really is on fire at the moment. And it's up against one of Roy Hodgson's old clubs as well, Fulham. Remember the amount of clubs that Roy Hodgson's managed. So, yeah, Fulham is one of them as well. I'm going for a Palace win. I think it'll be close. I think it will be close. And I think Palace win it 2-0. I just don't see Fulham scoring against Palace. I really don't. Ronald says Palace 1, Fulham 2. Hi, Ronald. Hope you're well, mate. Ian says, I'm confident we will win. Joe Litton says, I'd love us to go for Eze next summer as a creator too. I mean, look, when Jamie Rubin was at QPR and Eze was there, when Jamie Rubin was director there, I remember at the time when our takeover was when we were trying to get this takeover through, the rumours were circulating that Jamie Rubin did say that, you know, if he doesn't leave, if we get that takeover done, he will, you know, we'll try our best to try and get him at Newcastle United, Eze. But as it happened, because the takeover went on longer than it did. Then obviously Palace got him and they got in. But he's a fantastic talent, is he? Seen many a game when he played for QPR, watching it on TV, and he's, I thought this guy's going to go a long way in the game, and rightly so, he's going to. 2-0 Fulham says antagonising. As long as we win our home games, we can get draws away, we'll go through. Honestly, I feel like we can beat all these teams. As long as we don't get beat away, that's all good. Absolutely, Predator. Absolutely. Is Roy back now? Oh, yeah, because he was off for illness, wasn't he? I don't know. He may well be. Foxy says, interested to see French League 1 team fail to beat Belgian underdogs USG today. Also, European finalists Fiorentina couldn't overcome the mighty Genk. What a country. Absolutely, Foxy. They're a great country, aren't they? Matt says Palace 1, Fulham 0. Joe Linton. Evening, everyone. Good evening, Lawrence. Hope you're well, friend. Ezzy is a very good player, says Julie. Absolutely. Honestly, Roy should retire for his health. But I don't know what's up with Roy Hodgson. I know he's had some sort of illness, and but yeah. Sefton says, please hit that like and subscribe. How are the lads? Tony, have you watched some of the Burnley doc? It's good. I haven't yet. No, I haven't got round to watching that yet, but I'm going to watch some of it. I've heard it's a really good documentary series, so I must have a watch. Shows a lot of stuff. Nick Pope is in the Champions League Team of the Week, says Coffee. Get in. See? Tell you what the Power 6 is now in the history books. This new era is good to see. Absolutely. So he should. And Jody Trips. Yeah, absolutely. How old is Roy now? I don't know. He must be about 74, 75, something like that. I think he's about 70, 74. He may even be 75, so he may get his free TV license now. You won't have to pay for it no more. I think when you get to 75, you don't have to pay for a TV. Tell you what I'll do. I'll tell you how old Roy Hodgson is. He's actually 76 years of age. So there you go. And the BBC say, yes, he will be back in the dugout on Saturday following taking ill on Saturday. So he is back in the dugout on Saturday. So apparently he's fine. Apparently I have COVID, Tony. If this is COVID, it's totally pathetic. I feel okay. Well, if you have, mate, get well soon. I hope it doesn't keep you down too long, mate. And let's hope the two are keeping your spirits up as well. Sick of hearing shy for years. Good to see Brighton, Villa and us in the mix. Absolutely antagonising. You couldn't have said that any better. Probably a Palace win, says Lawrence. Absolutely, Lawrence. I think Palace as well. Yeah, 76. I thought he was 96, says Coffee. And Ian says lol to that as well. I mean, look, what I do want to touch on as well, not somebody we really know in the world of football, but obviously, our condolences and heartfelt condolences will go to this girl's family. Maddie Cusack of Sheffield United, for the Sheffield United women's team. Sadly, she has died at the age of 27 years old. So Maddie Cusack, who was a midfielder for Sheffield United, sadly died at the age of 27. Nobody knows what the circumstances of the death are. There's been no cause. She also worked at the club as a marketing executive as well at Sheffield United, and they have said they are absolutely devastated. They said Maddie had a unique position of being part of a number of teams at Sheffield United and was popular with everyone that she came into contact with. Her personality and professionalism made her a credit to her family. She will be sadly missed. Whilst taking the news and moving forward, the club will offer as much support to Maddie's family's friends and colleagues as well. I mean, look, I expect on Sunday there will probably be a minute's silence before our game, and rightly so. Whether you like women's football or not, at the end of the day, somebody's tragically lost their life, and as I say, we don't know what the circumstances are. It hasn't been disclosed, But at 27 years of age, she's got a bright future ahead of her. Well, she did have, and now she hasn't, and it's just so sad to hear. I'll just quickly go into some comments, and we'll go on to the next game. Lawrence says Roy 76 should retire at the end of the season. Should have retired after he left Pals the first time instead of taking the Watford job and getting relegation on his CV. Absolutely, Lawrence. It's a bit of a worry. Can't imagine it's a stressful job at times as well. Roy has nothing left to prove. Absolutely. 76 and still ready to pick a fight on the touchline. Absolutely. We don't know, Joe Linton. R.I.P. Maddie says Ian. That's awful, says Coffee. Absolutely. Roy should retire and enjoy his millions. That's what I would do. Do you know what, Joe Linton? You're absolutely right. I would as well. There's the plane again. Walla says Rolly is wearing her colours in respect of Liverpool's win. And
Sefton, wash your mouth out with soap.
There you go.
I was hoping they lost.
Ronald says I hope the Scots beat tonight after the disrespect towards us. But it wasn't to be. Right. I'll put mute. Right, Rolly's back on mute because feedback is terrible. Right, the next game is we're off to Kenilworth Road, and it's Luton Town against fellow strugglers Wolverhampton Wanderers. So I'll kick this one off. Luton Town, so at home, Kenilworth Road. The Sky Q box will be at the ready in number 4, ready for the referee to go and then rewind it back and check the VAR decision. While in number 2, the assistant referee can nip and then get a quick cup of tea that Nora's made him. Anyway, and have a cookie. So, Luton Town versus Wolves, being serious now. Luton have got to get off the mark somehow now. And this is probably a great game for them to get off the mark. Look, yes, Wolves had played well against Liverpool, but they ran out of steam. Do you know what? I'm going to give home advantage here because I think Luton Town can get something out of this game. I really do. Wolves look like they're going to struggle this season, big style. And this wouldn't surprise me if Luton actually went ahead and won this game. It really wouldn't. And I think they'll break that duck. I really do. I think it'll be a close game. But Wolves go to Luton Town with a partisan crowd behind Luton Town, the hostile crowd. Little ground which could be intimidating for some of these big players that Wolves have got. I'm going to say Luton are going to win this game. And I'm going to say 2-1 Luton Town because I think Luton could spring a surprise here. I really do. And, this is a 6-pointer in all honesty. So, yeah. So before I get Rolly's thoughts, I'll just nip into some comments and see what... Coffee says those echoes remind me of the old Star Trek movies. Bia says 2-0 to Wolves. Coffee says 2-0 Wolves. Ronald says 2-0 Wolves. R.I.P. Wolves have really good left back called Ike Nori. Yeah. Can see Luton avoiding defeat for the first time in the Premier League, says Lawrence. There we are. Luton 1-0, says Ian. 2-0 to Luton, says Sefton. Chris W says a very tight game. Wolves to nick this 1-0. Wolves win 1-0 for me. Luton are just awful, says Joe Linton. We've got to get, but they've got to get past Sunderland's marks of 11 points or whatever it was, just to, so they don't get that. Gary says Wolves are a better team than their position would have you believe. Wolves win. They should be, shouldn't they? But, who knows? What you're basing on Wolves every day of the week, like for me. Luton 1-0. Ref will be sniffing knickers off the lane at half time, says Lee. Oh, Jesus Christ, Lee. Foxy says, ideal bounce back game for Wolves to win. Also, best opportunity for Luton to get our first win, so I'll go 1-1. If Wolves had a striker that could actually score, they would not be too bad. Yeah. Wolves comfortable. Chan is quite good. Matt says 1-0 to Wolves as well. So, yeah, I mean, look, the majority are going for Wolves. But again, as I say, there can always be a surprise in football. It's a funny old game once, like Greavesy once said, Jimmy Greaves. So, yeah, I mean, look, it can surprise you. Right, let's get Rolly's thoughts on this game.
Okay, before I go on to this game, I'd just like to send my condolences to Maddie and her family. Such a tragic loss at such a young age. Such the same age as my daughter, which sort of makes it think, ooh, it's so young. And I'm sure that it's a difficult time for her family and anyone at Sheffield United that knew her. On to the game. Well, I think this is a match of two of the worst teams in the league. Wolves, they gave it a go against Liverpool. They're just a poor side. Luton, to me, they got lucky when they got promoted because they're a side that's really a championship side that should have a chance of getting into the playoffs. But normally wouldn't get promoted if they got into the playoffs, and they did. They put in a shift, but they're below standard of the Premier League. They're still on championship pace. They make the mistakes they make in the championship. They would have got away with it. They don't in the Premier League. But they do give it a good goal, and they are improving. Wolves, on the other hand, they stripped their team of the best talent and haven't replaced them. They're going to be in the mix for relegation all season. I'm not sure that they travel that well. That being said, they are the better team, but I'm actually going to agree with Tony. I think Wolves will come in thinking, this is a game that we should win. And potentially going overconfident. And if they underestimate Luton, I can see Luton grabbing their first points of the season in a 1-0 win.
Yeah. Right, let's go to some comments. Joe Linton says, don't know, like Rolly, I reckon Everton are worse than Wolves. Yeah, they are.
Yes, Rangers, they are. I did say two of the worst teams. I didn't say they were the worst.
Ian says, Rangers 0, Real Betis 0, half time. Come on, Betis. I think if Luton don't lose, they'll probably win or draw, says Gary. They were robbed against Liverpool, much better side than that. Result made them look absolutely battered. Their defence absolutely poor. Wolves not too bad, to be honest, says Julie. No. Foxy says Wolves robbed versus Man U as well. League table a bit unfair on them at the moment. Yeah, I mean, looking on, got away with one, didn't he? And how VAR, I still don't know how VAR didn't give that as a penalty. It's just absolutely ridiculous. I just want to say, I mean, look, I see in the a player that I like now would have had it Newcastle United all day long because I think he's a good player. Because he can play anywhere across the front three. He can play left wing, right wing, and up front. He's playing right wing at the moment for his team, and he actually scored tonight in the Europa League. And that's a player called Ludovic Blas. I think he's I think he's a good player. He really is a good player. He's a very good creative player as well. And I wish we had him at Newcastle because he is a good player, but maybe not our choice of player. I don't know why, but I think he's not a bad player at all. Everton wasn't looking to go down, says Lee. I think so too. Great minds think alike. Mary says, evening all, hope you're all well. Evening, Mary, hope you're well too, and hope you keep well. And what happened with Pizzagate on Saturday? Did you finally get it, or did it not turn up at all? Was it Saturday? I can't remember what day it was now, but did you finally get your domino, or didn't it turn up? You got the domino effect. Had to put that one in there. Sorry, Mary. Right, okay, so let's get to the next game. So the next game, we're heading northwest in this game, and we're heading up to East Manchester. Yes, because that's the home of the Etihad Stadium, Manchester City, who will be taking on Robin Hood and his merry men. Yes, Sherwood Forest. It's Nottingham Forest. Yeah, so it's Man City versus Nottingham Forest. Forest have had a mixed start to the season. Look, I'll let Rolly take this one first and then give us his thoughts and a score prediction, please, Rolly. You're on mute.
So I thought you'd take me off. I've been quite impressed by Forest this season. They've actually they've had a half decent start to the season. They're not playing like this time last season. They were very disjointed. They didn't know what they were doing. Half the team hadn't played together, and they look more of a unit. They've got. I love that Gibbs White. I think he's a cracking player. He's got a very bright future, and Awoniyi is always likely to get him a goal. I think they're battling hard. They've improved from last season. I don't think they'll struggle. I think they'll be safe, quite comfortably safe. That said, they're going to the Etihad and they will lose. I think, again, with the Champions League, Man City will make changes and they can afford to. And I think they will probably end up winning 2-0, maybe 3. I'll go for 2-0.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout. Paul says, I think Diaby's one that got away. On a serious note, what a quality player Villa have there. Yeah, he's a good player, Diaby. City 3, Forest 1. Lawrence is expecting City win, but feel Forest will get a goal. Yeah, absolutely. Joe Linton says, I ordered a Domino's the other week. They forgot to deliver mine, but I called up and they had to get another Domino's to deliver. So what are they up to? Absolutely, Joe Linton. 4-0 says Sefton. Ian and Sefton. Man City to win 4-1 says Lee. 1-0 Forest says Coffee. Man City 4-1. Ronald says 5-1. And 3-1 says Matt. I think the result will show that our 1-0 defeat there was a good result. 5-0 City. Forest disappointed me on Monday night. Burnley deserved the win, but still they had a solid start to the season. Man City have a habit of losing 1-0 at half time, but they'll turn it around second half. She says, I've not received a pizza from them since the end of the summer, which upset me proper since I'm a good customer. Like, do you know what it is, Mary? I would just say to them, look, come on, you know. I mean, I hope you've getting your money back for this, by the way. I hope they've refunded you. But I think for the, I think for what they've done, I would, I'll be inclined to say, look, I'm a loyal customer. Send me a freebie out. I think that's what they should do. I think, you shouldn't have to say freebie. They should turn around. They should turn around and say, right, we'll send you a freebie out, and just as a as a gesture of goodwill, there's nothing wrong with that.
Mary, if they don't deliver your pizza, tell them you'll set Rolly and Tony from It's All Black and White TV on them. That should get them to get it sorted.
Brighton struggling here, like says Paul. You're going to find it tough in the Europa League. Took 2 days to get the refund. Yeah, because when it comes back to your card, it takes a couple of days for it to go back. Yes. It's called the domino effect. Yeah, exactly what I said, Gary, the domino effect. Absolutely. So, my thoughts on this game, Man City versus Forest. I think, look, Forest haven't done too bad this season. They've done all right. But do you know what it is? City will win this game, no doubt. City win this game all day in my eyes. They'll have too much Forest. Don't think it'll be quite the hammering that people may think it is, but do you know what? I'm going to say 3-1 to City because I really do think, I really do think it'll not be a hammering because Forest are not a bad side. So, yeah, I'll go 3-1. Let's see what.
Oh, just before you go into the chat, I just want to ask you a question, Tony. Do you think that Forest are missing Brennan Johnson, or do you think Elanga has actually made the team better?
Well, funny enough, I work alongside a Forest fan, and what he said to me, which was very interesting, and I said to him, I said, look, I says, you sold Johnson obviously to Spurs for 47 million. Is that a mistake, or do you think it was the right thing to do? And he said, look at last season. How many times did Johnson start games? How many times was he on the bench? He says, he's a good player, but I don't think he fitted into Steve Cooper very well in the Premier League. And he says, so in some ways, he says, I think the thing is, the reason Johnson's moved on is because Forest feel he's not the right fit for them going forward. So he says, in some ways, I think it's a great move for Nottingham Forest all around. He says, because they got Elanga for 15 million. He says, and, he says, but good luck to Johnson. He says he's been great for Forest, but he says at the end of the day, he thinks it's the right move that they got rid of Johnson. So, and he says majority of Nottingham Forest fans are happy with that as well. So that, I hope that answers your question, Rolly, anyway. So, yeah.
No, it doesn't, but I think that's the best I'm going to get.
Yeah. BS says, Mary, write to the CEO using CEO email. I wrote to Amazon about the latest of the documentary and got a £40 free voucher. I mean, look, I remember once I bought some Quality Street, and this was about, I'm probably going back about maybe 10 years ago. And I bought some Quality Street, and when I opened the box up, the tub of Quality Street, most of it had the toffee pennies and the toffee logs, and very few of the other ones like the strawberry, the orange, and the fudge and that. So I got in touch with them and I said, look, I've got this. I says, but it's mostly toffees in here. I says, not really a variety, is it? And the lady was like, oh, okay. So I had to give her the batch numbers and everything off the thing. And she said, I'll send you a voucher so you can get a free tub of, so you can get a couple of free tubs of Quality Street. And that's what I got. I got a voucher. I just took the store and just got 2 boxes of Quality Street. And there we go. And it was absolutely fine, But yeah, it does pay to complain. It really does pay to complain. I've done it many a time, and it does pay to complain. It really does, honestly. There's no harm in complaining, because if we don't complain, you get no gain. Simple as. And I mean, look, I can't remember what it was I complained about now, but I complained about something and I actually got my money back. And try to think what it was now. I'll tell you what it was. It was I bought an electrical item from Asda and it wasn't working properly after about a month. And they were trying to dispute that. Oh, well, I've had it a month and, and I said, well, yes, but, but they actually did the decent thing. They actually replaced it and refunded me. So, as I say, pays to complain. I ordered Domino's pizza, double block, end up with an empty box. Mary says, I'll do that, lads, on the channel, the best. Thank you very much indeed, Mary. Well, Mary, I'm not far away from you at all. So, Jody says, West Ham's 1-0 down. Tanji says, Man City's got a few injuries, apparently. That'll be interesting, yeah. You got a refund at least, says Julie. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, getting a refund. But I think, not being funny, if you're a regular customer there, they should turn around and give you, they should give you something for free, really. They should give you free pizza. It's bad. Paul says, Forden will tear them a new one. Shocking mistake from Mark Bonner. Says Foxy, that depends on whether VAR flies out of control again. Chris Wood fluke goal at that. He had 1-0. Forrest says coffee. If only takeaways had VAR, what would it look like? Great business for us selling Johnson and brought in Hudson-Odoi for cheap, who scored a beauty. Yeah, they only got him for 3 million, didn't they? I like the Forest manager, says Gary. He's had some tough jobs. Hi Tony, how are you? Says Ben. I'm absolutely fine, mate. Thank you very much. He says Man City 4-0. Gary says, is this the Domino's and Asda's prediction show? Gary, yeah. Coffee says, one time I bought a fish dinner meal from the mall, and when we got home and opened it, it had everything except the fish. Not good, Coffee. Not good at all. Okay, so we go to the next game, and I think Rory kicked off the last one, so I'll kick off this one. And we are heading back south. We are going to West London again, and we are going to the dizzy heights of Brentford. Yes, Brentford, and that manager Thomas Frank, who likes to keep having a pop at us. And they take on one of the worst teams in the Premier League this season. And, just happens to be the like, if they want to be a bit of prehistoric, there is a dinosaur in goal who's only got little arms and he's called T-Rex. Yes. So it is Brentford versus Everton. Look, 5:30 kick-off on the Sky cameras on the Saturday night. I didn't realise a comedy show was on that early, It's great to see comedy on at 5:30 at night, so this is certainly one to have the popcorn in front of the TV watching. So, yeah, how do I see this one going? Well, Everton, yes, they only lost 1-0 to Arsenal. But it's a different game. They're away from home. They're at Brentford. And the G-Tech Community Stadium can be a hard place to go to. Let's be honest, Brentford did play well against us last weekend. But I can't see anything other than the Brentford winning this game. I think the plight for Everton's going to continue. I want Everton to go 14 games without a win. Because I'll tell you now, there's no way another team is going to do what we've done after 14 games and stay up. So as long as they get to 14 games without a win, whether Dyche shall still be there, I don't know. After this weekend, he might be gone. Who knows? Everton might have to roll a Dyche. But what scoreline do I put on this? I think Brentford will go hard. I'm going to say 4-0 Brentford. I really do think Brentford will go to town. And Mbeumo and Wissa won't be happy at missing chances last week, and they'll want to be clinical in front of goal. And I think them two will make sure that they're clinical, and they'll both be on the score sheet, definitely. So I'm going to say 4-0 Brentford. Let's see what the comments have to say about this game. Right. Advice, contact their customer support. Absolutely, Sefton, that's a good one. BS says 3-1 to Brentford. 2-0 to Brentford, says Foxy. Ben says Crystal Palace 2, Fulham 0, Wolves 1, 1-0, and Everton to win 2-0. Oh. Brentford 2-0 win, says Lee. 2-1 to says Ian to Brentford. Brentford win, nailed on 3 points for them, says Gary. Definitely going for a Brentford win, says Lawrence. Ronald's going for a 2-2 draw. Sefton says 2-1 to Everton, away win. Sefton, are you sure? What's going on, Sefton? Something we need to know about. Mary says, Tony, I only got rid of the Dino song 2 days ago. It's back with a vengeance. Sorry about that one. Chris says 2-0 to Brentford. Brentford's a good side, absolutely. Apparently, Everton are looking at Graham Potter. I think they need his brother Harry, or they need a wizard. I mean, look, Graham Potter was offered a job in France and he turned it down, so I can't see him taking the Everton job on. Who wants to be taking that job on? No, 3-0 Brentford. 5-0 Brentford, says Coffee. And Tanji says 1-1 draw. Okay, Rolly, give us your thoughts.
Well, I thought Brentford gave us a good go last week. At the beginning, they had a couple of really good chances. They failed to score, and we went on to win the game. Everyone knows that Brentford are a good side, as you said, in Mbeumo and Wissa, a class up front. You wouldn't really know that Ivan Toney's there the way the results are going for them. A very good side. The GTEC Community Stadium is a very hard place to go. If I remember correctly, we're the only team to beat them there last season. On the flip side, Everton last week against Arsenal battled hard. I think if Martinelli's goal had been allowed, I think they'd have fallen apart because they're on that sort of side. But they lack quality all over the pitch. The way they play at the moment, they couldn't score in a brothel. It's one of those games. It'll be close until the ref blows the whistle to start the match. Last week, I think I predicted Arsenal to win 270-0. I'm going to change that to 280-0 to Brentford because they're at home. But in all honesty, Brentford will win this comfortably 3-0.
Matt says Brentford 4-0. Big Sam, Everton. Says Lee. Thomas Frank looks like the Joker from Batman, says Coffee. Yeah, so I think all in all, I think it'll be a Brentford win. Okay. Right, so the last game on Saturday. Yeah. And this is an 8 p.m. kickoff. On TNT Sports, as they call it now. And Rory can kick this one off. You could say this game is a 6-pointer for these two teams. A 6-pointer, I say, for these two teams. Because these two teams haven't been doing very well. In fact, the away team especially is languishing in 13th place, just above Chelsea in the Premier League. So somebody is on their way out of a job soon enough as well. Right, so we're going to head over to Turf Moor, where we have the big 6-pointer, and that is Burnley versus Manchester United. So calling this a 6-pointer, I know, but come on, it's They're struggling for a reason, Man United. Take this one away, Rory.
Well, though Burnley have had a poor start to the season results-wise, I've actually been quite impressed by the way they played. Of the promoted teams, they seem to be the ones that have picked up the pace of the Premier League the best. I still think they're probably lacking a bit up front, but they apply themselves well. And I think they will develop into a decent Premier League team before the season's ends. And I still believe they'll stay up. Man United, on the other hand, are a mess. And the mess starts from the top with Eric Tentpeg and the way he's dealing with the squad. They were very lucky that to get the to 2 of the 3 goals against Bayern Munich.
There's Eric.
There's Eric.
Yeah, Eric Tentpeg. Man, you don't know what to expect from Man United. They've got some really good players, but they're not a team. And at times they're all over the place. So I'd like to say that Burnley will win this one, but I don't think they will. But I don't think Man United will win it either. So I'm going for a 1-1 draw.
Interesting.
Thanks, Rory.
Everton, defo the Jigsaw Club, says Lee. Saw dodgy decisions, but we are not dancing with dinos or cabbages. Says Mary. Gary says we need a player like Anthony Gordon. Haha. Lawrence is probably going for a Man U win, but can see Burnley getting their first league win of the season as well. Burnley to win 4-0, says Coffee. Foxy's going for a 2-2 draw. Lee says a draw. Ben says 4-0 Man United. 1-1 says Beer. Tanji says 3-1 to Burnley. Vincent Company's previous City attachments. He will want to win this one. Yeah. Good shout. Ian says 1-1. Coffee says Anana's going to have nightmares. Burnley 2, Man U 1, says Ronald. Yeah. Mary says, please let the Man U get what they have been begging for the Premier League has. Yeah. Absolutely. Tanji says, Man U midfield all over the place, but Burnley can play some good football. Absolutely. Coffee says, Region, the only player who was trying to do something for Man United. Burnley 1, Man U 1, says Matt. Gary says, Man U will get an undeserved win. Foxy says, Brighton's got a penalty. Okay. Keep up to date with that one. Lawrence, I know they mainly come at Old Trafford, but worth remembering, Man U have dropped points to Burnley plenty of times in the Premier League. Yes, they have. Man U are terrible away from home, says Tanji. Burnley 2-1, says Sefton. Chris says Burnley 2-1 can cause problems and fight for it. Yeah, absolutely. Goffey says, I predicted 4-0 because I want to see some more entertaining reactions from the likes of Goldbridge. And Foxy says it's now 2-0 because Brighton scored that penalty. Right. Okay, so my thoughts on this game, as I say, I've said it's a 6-pointer because basically that's exactly what it is. It's a 6-pointer, isn't it? But, I mean, look, Burnley haven't had the best of starts, but there again, they've had a tough start. But they got that deserved draw against Forest. They could have won that game, in fact. I think Man U may find it tough because they had that tough game last night against Bayern Munich. Yes, they scored 3 goals, but they let 4 in. Onana was to blame for the first, and rightly so. Look, Onana, I rated this guy as a goalkeeper, and when he moved when he moved to Inter Milan on a free transfer, I was absolutely gutted because I thought, Jesus, why didn't we go in for him and get him on a free from Holland? But now I've seen him play for Man United, and I'm thinking, actually, he's not that great in the Premier League. So I'm thinking, okay then. So I'm pleased we haven't got him. Look, I think Burnley will try and exploit Onana, knowing that he has got a mistake in him. You know, wouldn't surprise me if Burnley win this game. Burnley will concede. So I'm going to say Burnley will win this one 3-1. I'm going for a 3-1 win. And yeah, I'm absolutely going for a 3-1 win. And I hope I'll get my mate Dan next week for the preview for the Burnley game. Because Dan's a great guy. Dan from Turf Moor House, he's absolutely fantastic. And I'm going to get him on.
Yeah, just like to say about Burnley, they've conceded goals this season. I don't think there's any one of the goals they conceded Trafford could do anything about. The goals they conceded have been really good goals that the keepers had no chance on. It's not like he's been solid, but it's just had no chance with the goals. You look at you look at the game against Forest. There's nothing you could do about Hudson-Odoi's goal or the Forest equaliser. They've just been unlucky on that count.
Yeah. Mighty Rangers are winning 1-0. Oh, Ian won't be happy. 1-0 to Man U, says Julie. West Ham 1-1 now. Casemiro starting to play well, says Julie. Do goalies love putting it in their own net, says Mary. Well, I don't know what Onana was doing because he should have saved that in all honesty. Rashford has been getting lots of criticism lately, and Sancho was playing FIFA during the Bayern game and has angered Man U fans. Well, he can't play, so don't know why they're getting angry at him for. West Ham own goal. That Casemiro first goal was quite funny, says Coffee. Right, okay, so let's go into the next matches, and this is on Sunday now, and I'll kick this one off. And in fact, no, I'll let Roddy kick this one off because this is going to be a cracker of a game, I think. Well, I hope it is. But look, the first game is probably one that a lot of people will watch. It's at North London. It's between the two rivals. It's at the Emirates Stadium, and it is Arsenal up against Ange Postecoglou's Tottenham Hotspur, who are playing very, very well at the moment. Sometimes managers who come from Scotland, I know he's not Scottish, he's Australian, but normally when they come from Scottish football, English football, the transition's totally different and they don't hit the ground running. Postecoglou, on the other hand, has done an amazing job for Tottenham Hotspur. So, Rolly, give me your thoughts on this one.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. Spurs they've been okay this season. They've been pretty good. And just, I think he's proving critics wrong at the moment. But this is their first test against a team that's going to be at the top of the table. They've lost one of their, I forget who it was. They've lost one of the players in training with an ACL. I can't remember the guy's name. It's annoying. I think Arsenal against Everton. They made really hard work of that. I mean, because they had the possession and the chances to win that game easily, and yet it's almost like they're going back to the Wenger days of trying to walk the ball into the net. But they're a very, very good side nonetheless. I think both sides will score. I think it'll be a very tight game. Um, because I like amazingly like what Ange Postecoglou has done at Spurs. I see them getting out a point out of this. I'm going to go 1-1.
Yeah. Julie says some goalkeepers like to try and score. T-Rex Pickford is one of those. The North London derby. Coffee says 4-4. Ian says 2-2. Julie says both teams playing well, absolutely. Lawrence says going for an Arsenal win this one. West Ham are winning 2-1, says Lawrence. Arsenal 2, Spurs 1, says Tangi. Arsenal 4, Spurs 1. Spurs will be exposed, says Beer. Julie says 3-all. Entertaining draw, yeah. Foxy says I've got this down for a 2-2. 3-1 to Arsenal. I can't comment as my area has a huge support for sports and the footy team. Gary says, yeah, Foxy sounds about right. A draw. Where does the North London derby rate in English derbies? Personally, I think it's a bit overrated. Yeah, I do as well. You're absolutely right. Ars 3, Spurs 1, says Ronald. West Ham 2-1 now. Can see it being a draw. 2-all, says Sefton. Spurs haven't played anyone yet, and this is where they'll get found out, says Tangi. Absolutely. Well, they played Man U, but they're not really that great, are they? Julie says Ward Prowse, brilliant for the Hammers, a new hero for the anthem. He set up the second goal. He's played well since he's gone there. I lived in Palmer's Green for 15 years, says Gary. You anywhere near there? 5-1 Arsenal, says Trevor. Hi, Trevor. Hope you're well, friend. Julie says my mate's partner and their son love Arsenal. I think this will be a difficult game. She's in Cambridgeshire, not far away from me. So I think this will be a tough game for both sides. But I think it'll be a tight game, but I think Arsenal win it. Purely on the fact that they didn't get beat off Everton. Actually fancy this will be a high scoring game, so I'm going to say 3-2 Arsenal. The way Arsenal took apart PSV last night, 4-0, that'll give them a lot of confidence going into this game. So yeah, I'm saying 3-2 Arsenal. Definitely. That's for sure. Gary says A10 run. Yeah, absolutely, Gary. I mean, that A10 round Milton area, it's a nightmare. Villa Watch said Villa would beat Milan and lost to Legia Warsaw. Do you know what? That Villa Watch is just an idiot, Coffee. I wouldn't even take notice of them. I think Spurs are one injury away from them collapsing. Look at the bench. It's probably Dyer. That's it. I think Mason doing a great job while Peter away. Absolutely, Ben. He's done very well indeed, has Mason, and well done, Mason. Trevor says, when my oldest son was younger, he was a Man U fan. And I told him kicking him out if he was still a Man U fan. Now he's not now he doesn't like footy. Nice one. Julie says Villa watches a closet Mackem. I'm sure of it. I'm sure he is. He's got to be a closet Mackem. Absolutely. So yeah. Milton is still a nightmare, Tony. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was up there on Monday night in Milton, so that's why my show was late on Monday. But yeah, I was in Milton on Monday. It's always a nightmare. And then the Science Park as well, Mary. That's an absolute ball ache down there. It's terrible. Right. Okay. So the next game. So we're heading down to the South Coast. Team that are playing tonight. It's a bit of a South Coast derby, I suppose, in some ways, although they're quite far apart. One's in Sussex, one's in Dorset. And yes, it's that team called Brighton Hove Albion, and they're up against AFC Bournemouth. So Brighton v Bournemouth, I'll kick this one off. I think this will be an interesting game. Now it depends if Brighton have to rotate for Sunday after playing tonight. This is where Brighton's going to find it difficult. Thursday, Sunday, Thursday, Sunday. We did 10 years ago when we played in the Europa League. Look. Oh, God. I think Bournemouth might be up for this game to think they can get something out of it. But I still think Brighton may just prove too strong for Bournemouth. That's the thing. Do you know what I'm going for? I'm going for a draw in this game. And I'm actually going to say 1-1. 1-1 at the Amex. Because we're Brighton doing rotation as well. So I think that's what will end up as. Yeah, absolutely. Rolly, do you think we will hammer PSG in the Champions League? Says Ben. I'll come back to you on that one in a minute, Rolly. Harry Otter is refusing to terminate his £40,000 a week contract with Nottingham Forest despite not playing for 2 years. It's a bit like Jeff Hendrick for us, isn't it? He wouldn't go. That should be condemned for motorists, absolutely, Mary. Expecting Brighton again another win, says Lawrence. Ben says 2-1. Ian says 3-0 Brighton. So does Chris. 2-0 Brighton, says Julie. 2-0 Brighton, says Sefton. 2-1 to Brighton, says Bia. 2-all draw, says Lee. Seagull Lovers. 2-1 to Brighton, says Trevor. Bournemouth not the same without Eddie Howe and Callum Wilson, obviously, absolutely. Brighton will have this one because they're on fire. 2-1 to Brighton. I reckon Bournemouth will get something out of this one, says Gary. That's why I've gone for a draw. Brighton 2-1, says Matt. Trevor says Brighton will be the underdogs this season. Yeah. Ajax 3, Marseille 3, and what a great game that is. 2 for Aubameyang. Wow. Brighton will nick a 1-0 at the weekend. Right, Rolly, give me your thoughts on this game. And before you do that, just that question from Ben.
Oh, what was the question from Ben? It's was it about PSG? Whether we hammer PSG? I don't think we'll hammer PSG. Are you talking home or away? I think we've got a good chance to beat them at home. If Botman's marking Mbappe, we can keep him quiet, and the rest of the team, there's no great shakes. They've got no Neymar, they've got no Messi this season. So I don't see any reason why we can't beat them at St James's. If we defend as resolutely at the Parc des Princes when we play them in Paris, there's no reason we can't get something there. So I think we can beat them. I don't think we'll hammer them because they are a good side. Brighton, Bournemouth. Teams that play on Thursdays traditionally have had poor results on the Sunday when they go back to the league. Brighton will be on a high, having played their first ever European game. I don't know how much you'll take out of them with the quick turnaround as well. They're still a very good side, even when they rotate, which they probably have to. Bournemouth, I think, have done pretty well. They've been unlucky in a few games, like the Man United game, and the Liverpool game where they've had dodgy penalties given against them. I think this is going to be a close one. I'm going to have to plump for Brighton. So I think Bournemouth could potentially get something out of this game. So I'm going to go 1-0 Brighton. I think that the European game will take a lot out of them. But I don't think Bournemouth will have enough to really capitalise on that. I could be wrong. As I say, teams that play on Thursday traditionally don't do that well on the Sunday game after the European nights. But we will see.
Coffee's going 4-0 Brighton. Foxy says Lisbon's taking the lead at Sturm Graz. Ex-Coventry forward Gyökeres scored one. Cracking game will be Newcastle versus PSG, says Chris. Absolutely. Is it true the audio at St James's Park is not the best and needs an upgrade? I've heard that before, Coffee. Yeah, I think it does need a bit of an upgrade, but it'll get there. Julie says West Ham nearly scored again. Paqueta puts the ball through Antonio. Ball goes back to Paqueta, who narrowly misses. Trevor says Brighton sold some of the best players and bought better players in who they want to play for the club and the fans. Absolutely. Foxy says no Dunk, no Ferguson, no Lallana playing tonight. EEK scored 3-2 against Brighton. Because they're obviously keeping them for Sunday. The consultant today said he has a chance to get to Dortmund, but he may have to catch up with the workload. Me didn't miss that. Going to Dortmund, lol. Absolutely, Ronald. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I thought Brighton will be doing without McAllister. Adam P was featured on NUSC TV. He gets around, bless him. Yeah, he does. And 3-1 West Ham, says Lawrence. Okay, so the next game is we head off to West London. Souček's just scored for West Ham. It's 3-1 West Ham. Okay. So the next game, I'll take the next game, and it's at Stamford Bridge. It's Chelsea versus Villa. Again, Villa playing in Europe tonight, so they're playing on Sunday. Chelsea. Right. I thought Pochettino coming in would have been a great fit for Chelsea, but it seems because they've got all these players, they're still not gelling. But with Villa playing tonight, how are they going to set up on Sunday? That is the thing. This is a great chance for Villa to go to Stamford Bridge and win it. But then also this could be a great opportunity for Chelsea to get a win and get the fans on side. But I think Chelsea's woes will continue. I think there'll be chances in this game. But I'm going for a draw. And I'm going to say 1-1. That's my thoughts on this one. Let's just see what the comments say before we get Rolly's take on it. Trevor says 17-all. 3-2 to Villa. Villa win, says Lee. 1-1 says Chris. Souček scored. Thanks, Julie. Ian says 2-1 Villa. 3-1 Villa, says Bia. Tanji says 2-0 Villa. Can't see Chelsea scoring. A board draw, says Gary. 2-2 draw, says Mary. Tough one to call, says Lawrence. Julie says Chelsea to win this one. Villa not being good. 3-1 Chelsea. 2-0 Villa, says Coffee. Villa won away at Chelsea last season, also, says Tanji. Chelsea 1, Villa 1, says Ronald. Expectation for Villa to go and get a result. I see Chelsea grind out a much needed 1-0 win. Yeah, I mean, look, Mudryk again, I don't think he's that great, to be honest with you. But we shall wait and see. Rory, give me your quick thoughts and your prediction.
Well, Chelsea are all over the place at the moment. They've got no identity. They look like strangers playing together at the moment. Whether they're managing to become more of a team is not evident yet. but you've got to think at some point that will happen. Villa have, as I said, for Brighton, it equally applies to Villa. Teams that play on Thursdays tend to struggle on the Sunday. If Villa hadn't had the game tonight, I would think they'd win comfortably. I think it's going to be a lot more difficult for Villa on Sunday. It's a really difficult one to call. I mean, my sort of head says a draw, then my heart says, "Oh, I want Villa to win," and then I remember it's Villa and I don't want them to win. So can't they both lose? Score. I don't trust Chelsea to put in a decent performance, so I'm going to go Villa to win this 1-0.
Ben said you don't watch along against City on Wednesday. I'm not, no, unfortunately. Is it this Wednesday, is it? Oh, yes, it is, isn't it? Another assist for James Ward-Prowse. UEFA has released an analyst article on Newcastle performance from their technical observer on how we stopped Milan. Interesting. Julie says, I told my partner he'd be good. Told him Paqueta would be amazing as well. When he joined, he still doesn't believe me about Paqueta. Maybe Chelsea 1-1, says Julie. Freiburg late winner at Nottingham Forest B team. Olympiacos 3-2. Yeah, exactly. Right, okay, we got the next game, and Rolly can have this one, because I'm sure he would like this one. It's not far from where he lives, and it's home advantage for Liverpool versus West Ham United.
That's an interesting one, because this time both teams have played on the Thursday. Isn't that good to say, Liverpool playing on a Thursday? And both, I don't know what the final score for the Liverpool game was, but I believe they won. I think West Ham are in good form. I think Liverpool's luck has got to run out at some point, because they've had so much luck this season. If they're a cat, they'd only have one life left. Yeah, I've been impressed with West Ham this season. I think it's almost like one season they're really good, one season they're really bad. Like last season, I had a bad season. I fancy them to get something in this game. If they start off positively, I see no reason why they can't win at Anfield. Because Liverpool, they aren't all that. So Sefton, get your armour out and your flak jacket, because I'm going for a 2-1 West Ham win.
Matt says 0-0. Holy crap, says Julie. 2-1 to West Ham, says Ben. Trevor reckons 3-0 to Liverpool. Julie says a bin dippers 2, hamsters 4. Lawrence says, I think Liverpool will narrowly win this one. Liverpool somehow grind out lucky wins. 3-1 Liverpool, says Coffee. West Ham wins, says Lee. Sefton says 3-1, keep all us happy. Bia says 3-1 win for Liverpool. Chris says 1-1 draw. Coffee says all the FSG out trends seem to have gone. Yeah. Because they're at home, a Liverpool win, unfortunately, says Gary. Liverpool 1, West Ham 2, says Ronald. Yeah, I think this will be a difficult game. I think, it's two teams playing on a Thursday, playing on a Sunday. Both teams banging form. Ward-Prowse is on fire at the minute for West Ham as well. I can see this being a close game, but I'm going to say it'll end all square. So it'll be a 1-1 draw in my eyes. I think Ian says 2-0 to Liverpool. West Ham do well away, says Julie. Foxy says 13 minutes injury time in the Brighton game. Wow. Right, okay. So let's get to the next game. And this one is one I'll take this one, and this is the last game of the weekend. It's a 4:30 live TV game on Sky, and it's at that Steel City, and you've got to be sharp there. It's Sheffield United versus us, Newcastle United, at Bramall Lane. Right, okay. We've had some mixed results at Bramall Lane. We all remember when Sheffield United hadn't won a game most that season, and we went down there under Cabbage Head and got beat 1-0. That was a game when Ryan Fraser got sent off. Not the best of games, but we have had some, like I say, we've had some good results down there. We have one down there. It's going to be difficult to go there. Man City went there and just won 2-1. But again, I'm confident we'll go there and do the business. We are playing well at the moment. Yes, okay, against Brentford, it mightn't have been the prettiest game, but that was because Brentford had so many players behind the ball and they had playing 5 at the back. Against Milan, you're going to a totally different country, totally different competition altogether, where the quality of teams are better. And again, we held out there and got a 0-0 draw, and that is why I think that will kick our season on. I think we'll want to be more clinical in front of goal. Isak will want to get back on the scoring sheet amongst other players. There's only one winner for me, and obviously I'm not being biased, but it's our team, Newcastle United, and I think we will take the game to Sheffield United. Depends how Paul Heckingbottom sets up his team, but I think we can go down there, we can beat these, and I'm going to say 3-0 Newcastle, because I think we can go down there and beat them. If we're clinical, there could be more, but who knows? Let's see what the comments have to say before I get Rolly's take on this game as well. 2-0 Newcastle, says Chris. Ian says 3-0 Newcastle. Julie says Mighty Toon 2, Sean Bean United 0. Yeah, because it won't be when Saturday comes, it's when Sunday comes. Bia says 4-0 in Newcastle. 5-0 Newcastle, says Coffee. Trevor says 6-0 for us. Thanks very much, Trevor. You're confident we'll get the win? Yeah, absolutely. Wilson and Share to score, says Julie. Lawrence says, don't expect an easy win given how close some results are. And Spurs and Man City, yeah, absolutely. 3-0 Newcastle. Yeah, he's gone with me. Says Matt. 3-1 to Newcastle, says Ronald. Goals from Wilson, Anderson, Barnes, Lascelles and Lewis Hall, says Coffee. Gary says, I'm curious to how our team selection. I can see Tino and Haaland for this one. Barnes, Wilson and Miggy start in front. Longstaff and Elliott in midfield. Yeah, I think Tonali may start this one as well. 4-1 win for us. Gordon, Wilson, Isak and Barnes. Foxy says 1-0 to Newcastle, Miggy. A 2-1 win for me. Sefton says 2-0. How are you, the lads? Rangers and West Ham win their games, says Lawrence. Thank you very much. And Tanji says 1-0 and another clean sheet will do me before Man City Cup in midweek. Tonali carrying a knock from the Milan game, I think, says Julie. Yeah, he could well be. Yeah, he may be rested. Right, Rolly, thoughts on this game, for Sunday?
Well, one of the things that springs to mind, we're talking about European games and how teams fare afterwards. I think it's great we played on the Tuesday and this game's on the Sunday. you've actually got 5 days between the games, unlike obviously the Thursday to Sunday, or if we played Wednesday and Saturday. So we've actually got a bit of time to recover. I think Sheffield United will actually battle hard. They're a workman-like team. I still think they haven't got the speed of the Premier League yet. They're still making the mistakes that in the Championship you can get away with, you can't in the Premier League. I think we'll make some changes. It might be nice to see Livramento and Hall start. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting starting 11 for us. I wouldn't be surprised if Wilson starts as well. Yeah, I think we win the game. And I think our defence has got its mojo back over the last couple of games, so I can't see Sheffield United scoring. I have us to win 2-0.
Just before I go on to the next one, I mean, this is just interesting. This is, I mean, you know, totally different sport. It's rugby union. Obviously, you've got the World Cup going on at the moment. Just say France have scored 14 tries. Yes, 14 tries in a dazzling 96-0 win over Namibia. 96-0. Be great if we could hammer Everton 96-0, wouldn't it? But anyway, I feel Sheffield United will park the bus as Tangi. They could well do. Minty started for Feyenoord in the Champions League, yes, and he had a good game. Minty scored, didn't he? I think so.
He didn't score in the Champions League, but he scored in their league win over Heerenveen and had an assist coming off the bench. Did he come off the bench? No, he started, but was substituted.
Wilson and Barnes should start. Yeah, absolutely. And Julie went, yeah, that's right. He scored an assist in that game. And Qual scored at the weekend as well for Volendam. A very good goal, but Volendam still got beat because they are not a great team, in all honesty. Look, that's so that's the predictions done. We've done well tonight. The predictions look good. And I had France versus Namibia down for a draw at the bookie, says Gary. Foxy says 96-0, and that's a World Cup. How did some of these countries make it? That's the thing, Foxy. How do some of these countries make it? I mean, look 96-0, it's embarrassing, isn't it?
The thing about it, when you look at the Rugby World Cup, you have basically the Six Nations, and then you have Australia, New Zealand, and South Africa who are any good. It's a bit like having Newcastle play the Rose and Crown Hackney, some of the teams that qualify, because rugby is not as big as football. So the teams that are good tend to be obviously our home nations, France, and then it's the South Africa, New Zealand, and Australia, where rugby is popular. The other teams, it's growing. It's been growing over the years, but they just haven't got the talent because the good sports players play football or other sports. So, but they can't just have a World Cup for 9 teams. They need more teams involved.
Yeah, absolutely, Rolly. I mean, it's just absolutely madness, isn't it? When you see scores like that. Coffee says 96-0. Is that cricket? Lol. No, it's not Coffee. It's rugby, mate. Yeah, so it's definitely rugby, that's for sure. But I know it's absolutely madness, isn't it, when you see these results? And Matt says Fiji beat Australia. Yes, they did. Yes, 22-15, wasn't it? And I mean, geez, honestly, who saw that coming? Because, you know, not many people would have seen that coming at all. And possibly, probably Australia probably thought they had that in the bag, in all honesty. But just shows you, it's like Greavesy said about football, it's a funny old game. And that's the same with rugby.
The fact that Fiji beat Australia means the fact that they beat England before the World Cup started doesn't seem so bad now.
Absolutely. I think Eddie needs to throw his safe approach to one side and get his new bloods in. Tino Hall, Miley, Barnes, give them a feel. Yeah, I've got to agree. Gary, absolutely. Well, guys, that's it. We're coming to the end of the show, but it's been a great show, and thank you for everybody that's been on tonight as well, watching, and a big thank you to Julie, who's become a new member tonight. Thank you very much. And also to Antagonizing as well, who's become a new member as well. So thank you very much to you both. Biasi is 96. Nil sounds like Eric Ten Hag is Namibia's manager. Sefton says, "Auf Wiedersehen, all great show. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Night, all good night to you, Sefton, as well, mate." Rolly, do you want to let people know where they can find you?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at Pulse67, or X as it's called now. It's just a stupid name. But...
Okay, let's go to some comments. Bye, Tony, Rolly, and all. Goodbye, Coffee. Hope you have a great evening, mate. It's about time, I thought. Great show as always, says Julie. Thank you very much indeed, Julie. Great show, guys, says Ian. Thanks very much. Fantastic show, Tony and Rolly. Get everyone, give thumbs up. Thanks very much, Lee. See you later, old people. Take care. You too, Gary. Julie says good night, everyone. Good night to you, Julie. Brighton's been beaten 3-2, says Lawrence. Not a great result for Brighton, is it? Take care, everyone, says Ian. You too, mate. Brighton and Villa embarrassing English football in Europe tonight. But Belgian teams undefeated. What a place. Absolutely. Great show, guys. Take care, everyone. Thanks, Foxy, as well. I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, Brighton's got a hard group as it is. So the hard group they've got is, it's going to make it hard for them, absolutely. And Lol says, Ian, what were we going to say? Sorry, Rolly?
No, I wasn't. I just said that I was just commenting on Foxy about the Belgium teams, as he likes to do. Yeah, still haven't changed my mind on them.
Okay then. So remember, the future's bright. The future is definitely black and white. And yes, we'll be back tomorrow with the preview for the Sheffield United. And should be the pre-match on Sunday as well. So do keep an eye out for that one, guys and girls. But as I say, it's goodbye from me.
From me.
Are we the lads?